This is my take on why Evolving Skies is so damn expensive. Why? Why has Evolving Skies, out of every set, shot up so much in price? Now, it might be glaringly obvious, but I'm going to give 5 reasons as to why I think Evolving Skies has absolutely skyrocketed in price. You guys and girls might have some different opinions down below. If you do, just let me know. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, think something different to what I do as to why Evolving Skies has shot up in price so much, please let me know. Now, one of the most common questions I still get asked, whether it's down below in the comments or via email, is all about Evolving Skies still. It's clearly a hot topic still for most collectors and in particular, of course, investors. And there's a few questions that get asked, and here's one that comes to my mind as well. And is Evolving Skies going to reach team up booster box levels? And, for me, I don't think it's a question of if. I think it's more a question of when. And hey, I just did a video on, predicting prices for 2025 and where booster boxes will be sitting at the end of the year. And Evolving Skies, I think I said 1,500 by the end of the year. I think it's going to be 1,500 by the end of January. That's how quickly it is rising up in price. And the other common question I get asked is, should I just liquidate everything I've got, and just still buy into Evolving Skies while it's cheap? And the answer is, who knows anymore? Like, Evolving Skies could be a $10,000 booster box, could be a $20,000 booster box one day. It could stay at $1,500 and sit there for a long period of time. Who knows anymore? But let's jump into 5 reasons why this box in particular and this set in particular has absolutely skyrocketed in price. The first reason, and this is a really important one, if you weren't around in the hobby in 2021 when this set came out, and it's written right down here on the little Elite Trainer Box holder, August 27th, 2021. There was a few catalysts that led up to Evolving Skies release. And we've got to think back to a period where supply chains and distribution were severely disrupted. And Pokemon Company, in my opinion, got a fair few sets wrong when it comes to supply. So prior to Evolving Skies, we had sets like Chilling Reign, we had sets like Battle Styles, we had sets like Vivid Voltage, and we had sets like Darkness Ablaze. Now, Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage had huge supply. Chilling Reign had a massive second reprint, like it was huge. And Battle Styles was arguably even bigger. It was one of the most, if not the most printed Sword and Shield set. And there was a reason for that. It introduced a new meta to the game style with, rapid and single strike. And Vivid Voltage as well was such a massively printed set. Look at the PSA graded copies of Vivid Voltage. It has one of the highest PSA graded populations out of any set in existence in Pokemon. So what I think happened there in relation to Evolving Skies, and this is the first reason, is this notion that everyone was thinking a massive reprint was going to come for this set. So again, like I was saying, if you weren't around in 2021 when it came out, if you pre-ordered it, fine. If you bought it in the first few weeks, fine. But similar to Surging Sparks, and maybe not quite as severe, but similar to Surging Sparks, it ran up to $200 very, very quickly. Now, not long after that, it copped a small wave, like a small reprint, so to speak, and it dropped prices back down to a reasonable price. Here in Australia, if you got in quick enough, and by quick enough, I mean literally the first week or fortnight that second reprint came, or that reprint came, you could get it for about 215 Australian dollars, which if you translate that to American dollars or USD, it's probably somewhere around that $140 mark. So that's where it sort of dropped it to after this reprint come. And everyone goes, well, hold on, that wasn't very big. There's going to be another one coming. And you've got to keep in mind, while all this is happening, this set is getting ripped like absolute madness. Everyone is chasing the Rayquaza. Everyone is chasing the Evolutions. And in particular, of course, everyone is chasing the Moonbryon. And it was this real rise of the TikTok culture, Instagram Shorts culture, even YouTube Shorts, where, everyone wanted to show them ripping Moonbryon, the Umbreon on there. And I think people thought that they had every right to rip as much as they possibly can, because there was going to be more and more of it coming. And there was not only going to be more of it coming, there was going to be a massive, massive reprint, similar to what Battle Styles got, similar to what Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze got, similar to what, of course, Chilling Reign got. And you know what? It just didn't come. So when you think about, the amount of stock that could well be available for this set, it was getting ripped to absolute oblivion in the chance of trying to chase those chase cards. And everyone was thinking, it's all good, we'll rip as much as we can and we'll keep a little bit sealed, but there's going to be a massive reprint coming and I'll be able to pick it up as cheap as possible. And then, quickly it rose to $250 US and then $300 US, and everyone's going, yeah, there's still going to be a reprint coming. And guess what? It just never came. And we know the history of what's happened to pricing since then. 250 became 300, 300 became 400, then it hit 500 a box. Then it hit $1,000 a box recently. And look at it go now. The train isn't slowing down. So that's reason number one, is the initial stock run, the amount getting ripped, the amount being left sealed in relation to how much was getting ripped, and the fact that everyone thought there was a massive reprint coming, which just never really happened. Hey, before we jump into reason number two, I just want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Pokey Notify. This is an awesome Discord. I'll leave all the links in the description to the video. 3-day free trial if you want to sign up. After that, if you use code PokeyOz_25 in all capitals, which again will be in the description, you get 25% off. This is a Discord where you can see when products drop in your region and also what pricing and deals you can pick up. So hopefully you can actually get stock, because at the moment it's really, really difficult to pick up items, isn't it? So whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, UK, Europe, Pokey Notify is a great community where you can chat to like-minded people in order to try and pick up deals and get some stock and actually open some cards or keep some sealed for a later time. So that'll all be in the description. On to number two, and that is just how strong a set it is. This set is phenomenal. It is the greatest Pokemon card set of the modern era, bar none. And think about it. Is there anything in Scarlet and Violet up to it yet? No. Is Team Up as good as it? No. How far back do we have to go? Is Call of Legends as good as it? Well, if you look at the numbers, arguably, no. And by numbers, have a look at this. So the data here shows total set value is nearing on $4,500 US. Total set value, raw. Not graded, raw. That's how good a set this is. And you know what? To go back, then you ask yourself, when was the last set this good? So when did Pokemon release a set so good that total set value was near on $4,500, and the main hit from the set was nudging, $1,500 US raw? And you actually need to go all the way back to EX era, Dragon Frontiers. Dragon Frontiers was the last set, and I'll bring it up on the screen here, with $4,500 total set value, and the main chase card being that Gold Star Mew at a near on $1,500 raw price. Nothing since then comes close to it. So like I was saying, Team Up's not close to it. Call of Legends isn't close to it. Every set from the Black and White era, Heart Gold, Soul Silver era, Diamond and Pearl era, Platinum series, nothing is close to Evolving Skies. So it's been close to 20 odd years before us, or 15 plus years since a set has been this damn strong. And you can't argue that that's going to add some serious weight to the price of this booster box as a sealed product. Reason number three, the secondary market. And by the secondary market, I mean Pokemon has this really interesting phenomenon that happens to booster box prices, and you can almost call it. It's like the penny dropping almost. And what I mean by this is, if you work down the distribution channel from creation of the product, boxing it up, sending it out to distributors, them wholesaling it off to stores and retail shops and brick and mortars and online stores and rip and shippers and everything else in between, and then it going on to the consumer or the secondary market, it takes time for that distribution chain to flow through. So eventually you need the printers turned off on the set. And then even once the printers are turned off on the set, there can still be product hanging around at a distribution level and then at a shop front level. Once it's completely out of that area and in the hands solely of the secondary market, so shops don't have it anymore, distribution obviously doesn't have it anymore, rip and shippers don't really have it anymore, online stores don't have it anymore, it's solely in the hands of the secondary market. Once that happens, we see pricing go crazy. And hey, look, that's something that's recently happened to Fusion Strike. So it's just a phenomenon that'll naturally happen when it comes to the Pokemon card world in a sealed product. Once that happens, sealed product seems to jump. Now, the fourth reason I have in mind, and this is a bit of an interesting one, the fourth reason I have in mind is the thrill of the gamble. It's almost like human nature to want to gamble for something. And the bigger the gamble sometimes, the more people seem to want it, which is really strange. Because imagine this. Imagine if you opened a pack of Evolving Skies and every single pack had a hit inside it. It sounds good in theory, but it's not that fun really, is it? And then because every single pack has a hit inside it, the value of those hits will be severely diminished. So the rarer and harder it is to pull a hit, the more it boosts up the price of the raw product. So the more Umbreon jumps up, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but pulling a Alt Art VMAX from Evolving Skies, the odds are ridiculous. It's like 1 in 1,500 or 1 in 1,600 packs or something along there. I might leave the numbers up on the screen here for you to have a look, but it's absolutely crazy. And that thrill of the gamble and just thinking that, you're going to get an amazing outcome from, or the chance of getting an amazing outcome just seems to really suck people in and draw people in. And I think that's almost added to the prestige of Evolving Skies. Then the final point I wanted to make is the sealed collectability point around Evolving Skies. This is the fifth and final point, I think, as to why it's so damn expensive. Once it gets to that secondary market and once, it goes berserk and the price of the sealed product starts to pump up and the price of the singles start to pump up, sometimes people want to collect them and essentially as a sealed product. And I would argue I'm both a sealed collector / investor. I don't collect singles all that much, but I'm predominantly a sealed collector / investor. I love having a piece of history locked away on the shelf. And I think that's another reason Evolving Skies booster boxes are pumping up in price so much, because people are feeling like it's their last chance to get it at a somewhat reasonable price before it moves to the price of Team Up. Because once it's there, it's a bit more damn expensive to have in your sealed collection. And that sealed collectible where people feel they can lock away a piece of history with Evolving Skies and have it sealed, and possibly the prestige around and mystery around maybe having a Rayquaza VMAX or an Umbreon VMAX sitting inside there. Although it's probably got nothing, it's probably got a Garbodor V sitting inside there. But that prestige of having a slice of history on one of the best sets ever created in the Pokemon card world, sitting on your shelf or sitting in your cupboard or sitting in one of these acrylic cases is going to mean a lot to people. So there's some reasons why I think Evolving Skies has absolutely taken off in price, and perhaps it can give us an insight into what sets to look at next. What's important? Well, heaps of things are important when it comes to a sealed set. Stock runs are really important, or print runs. The total value of the set is, of course, really important. And then the community sentiment towards the set, and maybe people wanting to own a piece of that to lock away for history. And arguably the best we've seen in a booster box from Scarlet and Violet so far is, of course, Surging Sparks. I'm Michael. This is Pokey. Catch everyone next time.